Welcome to today's explainer. Okay, let's just get right into it. Have you ever looked at that expensive handful of daily vitamins you take every single morning and wondered, is this actually doing anything? Well, it turns out your current oral supplement routine might not be working quite the way you think it is, and the science behind why is honestly incredibly eye-opening.
I mean, think about it. Why, despite having a literal kitchen cabinet full of expensive pills and capsules, do you still hit that dreaded 3 p.m. mental crash? The source material we're looking at today paints a pretty wild picture of the problem. It describes the human digestive system as a literal biological battlefield. Every single time you swallow a pill, whether it's a basic multivitamin or some trendy longevity supplement, you are dropping it into a vat of harsh stomach acid, bile, and totally unpredictable enzymes. So instead of easily reaching your cells, those high-end supplements are fighting a losing battle before they even really get started.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. The bioavailability crisis. 2. The cellular engine, specifically NAD+. 3. The NIAGEN IV solution. 4. Fueling brain and body. 5. The longevity factor. And finally, 6. The IV experience. Let's get going.
All right, Section 1. The bioavailability crisis and the first pass effect.
So the fundamental problem with swallowing pills comes down to sheer inefficiency. It's a biological hurdle we all face, no matter how premium your vitamins might be. Things like your gut health, your age, even what you just ate for breakfast can completely mess with absorption. The data here is actually kind of shocking. For a lot of people, the absorption rate of these oral precursors is less than 30%. That means, a staggering 70% of your investment is literally going straight down the drain. Clinical texts refer to this as the first pass effect. Basically, it's a massive biological tax where your liver and digestive tract filter out the active ingredients before they ever have a chance to enter your bloodstream. Which brings us to Section 2, the cellular engine, and how we fuel the mitochondria. So what exactly is your body desperately trying and, well, failing to absorb from those wasted pills? It's NAD+. That stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. But hey, don't worry about the heavy biochemistry jargon. Just think of it like the ultimate primary fuel for your cellular engines. Without it, your mitochondria, the powerhouses inside every single one of your cells, they just cannot produce the ATP energy your body needs to actually function. But here is the catch, and it's a big one. As we age, our natural NAD+ levels just absolutely plummet. The sources highlight this super alarming statistic. By the time you hit 50 years old, you likely only have 50% of the NAD+ reserves you had back in your 20s. This massive drop in cellular fuel is one of the main drivers behind what we collectively recognize as aging. It's the exact culprit behind that sudden physical sluggishness, the brain fog, the slowing metabolism, all of it. Now let's look at a clinical workaround in Section 3, the NIAGEN IV solution, and achieving 100% bioavailability. If the gut is the bottleneck, the clinical solution presented by Prime IV Hydration and Wellness is to just bypass it entirely. The idea here is to stop guessing about your absorption rates and actually start optimizing your cellular health. There's a brilliant metaphor in the text for this. Taking an oral supplement is kind of like sending a letter via slow mail. You really hope it gets there, but it gets hit with that biological tax we talked about, leaving you with just partial absorption. But IV therapy? That is a hand-delivered letter. Because it goes straight into the bloodstream, it offers 100% bioavailability. One is a hope, the other is an absolute clinical guarantee.
So what exactly is NIAGEN? Well, it's a patented medicine-grade form of nicotinamide riboside, or NR for short. It's a highly specific precursor designed to instantly convert into NAD+ once it hits your veins. And unlike some other precursors out there that can give you this uncomfortable flushing or weird side effects, NIAGEN is specifically optimized for rapid cellular uptake and clean energy conversion.
Moving right along to Section 4, fueling brain and body, from synapses to metabolism. Okay, so when you suddenly flood your system with 100% bioavailable cellular fuel, what actually happens to your daily performance? Let's start with your brain. Get this, your brain makes up only about 2% of your total body weight, right? But it hogs a massive 20% of your body's energy intake. Because it is so incredibly energy hungry, the brain is super sensitive to NAD+ depletion. When those levels drop, your neural pathways get sluggish. And boom, that is exactly what causes the mental sludge we all know as brain fog.
The clinic outlines some pretty amazing systemic benefits when you replenish those levels. First off, research suggests this specific form of NR effectively crosses the blood-brain barrier, especially via IV.
It clears out that mental sludge, acting almost like a nootropic to give high-performing individuals this sustained, quiet cognitive clarity. It also supports neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to wire new connections. But it's not just mental. Physically, it optimizes ATP energy production across the entire body. Athletes are actually using this exact protocol to accelerate muscle recovery. They use that huge energy boost to repair cellular damage and knock out inflammation way faster than normal.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 5, the longevity factor, focusing on sirtuins and cellular defense.
To really grasp the bigger picture of longevity, or what the clinic calls a pro-aging lifestyle, we have to talk about sirtuins. Here, the science shifts from just immediate physical recovery to long-term cellular resilience. Sirtuins are a family of proteins that regulate cellular health. Think of them as your body's biological repair crew, fixing damaged DNA and defending against daily wear and tear. But there's a huge catch. Sirtuins are strictly NAD+ dependent. No NAD+? These vital longevity defenders basically go on strike. They just sit there doing absolutely nothing while your DNA accumulates damage. By boosting NAD+ via IV, you are effectively giving your body the necessary cofactors to turn those protective longevity genes back on.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, the IV experience, covering clinical protocols and preparation.
So, what's it actually like when you walk into the Reston Clinic for this treatment? The protocol is super straightforward, but there is one step that feels a little counterintuitive, but it's totally vital. You have to actively hydrate with 16 to 24 ounces of plain water right before your appointment. Why? Well, chugging that water increases your blood volume slightly, which actually dilates and plumps up your veins, making the whole medical access process incredibly quick and painless. After that, you have a thorough medical consultation to tailor things to you, followed by a super comfortable 45 to 60-minute infusion. And the really cool part is, while you might feel a bit of mental lightness right away, the absolute peak cellular results, that deep energy restoration, usually kicks in about 24 to 48 hours later.
And honestly, this total body support touches almost every single aspect of your daily health. Since NAD+ is required in literally every cell, the benefits are wonderfully systemic. For your skin, it supports the underlying cellular structure to keep it elastic and fend off UV damage. For your heart, which never takes a break and is packed with mitochondria, it fuels those crazy high ATP energy demands. It even helps regulate your internal clock, your circadian rhythm. Yep, balanced NAD+ means falling asleep easier and waking up feeling way more refreshed.
So here's the question I want to leave you with today. Are you finally ready to empty out that supplement graveyard and give yourselves the direct fuel they actually need? If you're completely over wondering if your morning vitamins are just expensive waste passing right through your system, understanding the science of 100% bioavailability is a real game changer for your long-term health. It's all about giving your body exactly what it craves, directly, with zero biological waste. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope this gave you a clear, structured look into the fascinating science behind cellular energy and optimization.